Welcome back. Let's read this one.
Wright Flyer 3. The Wright Flyer 3 was the third powered aircraft by the Wright brothers, built during the winter of 1904-05. Orville Wright made the first flight with it on the 23rd of June, 1905. The Wright Flyer 3 had an airframe of spruce construction with a wing camber of 1 in 20 as used in 1903, rather than the less effective 1 in 25 used in 1904. The new machine was equipped with the engine and other hardware from the scrapped Flyer 2 and, after major modifications, achieved much greater performance than Flyers I and II. Design and development, edit. The 1905 Flyer was made stronger, more durable, and with a longer tail to provide better directional stability and control. A larger cylinder bore engine provided more power, while a more effective leading edge, and efficient propellers, improved performance. The propeller blades were made longer and thinner, while according to Harry Combs, adding a backward sweep to the blades, calculated precisely to avoid the pressures of flight and to keep the blades free from distortion. Other modifications included vertical rather than horizontal cylinders for its 35 horsepower engine. As initially built, the Flyer 3 looked almost the same as its predecessors, and offered equally marginal performance. Orville suffered minor injuries in a serious nosedive crash in the machine on the 14th of July, 1905. When rebuilding the airplane, the Wrights made important design changes that solved the stability problems of the earlier models. They almost doubled the size of the elevator and rudder, and moved them about twice the distance from the wings. They added 2 fixed half-moon-shaped vertical vanes, called blinkers, between the elevators, but later removed, and widened the skid undercarriage, which helped give the wings a very slight dihedral. They disconnected the rear rudder of the rebuilt Flyer 3 from the wing warping control, and as in most future aircraft, placed it on a separate control handle. They also installed a larger fuel tank, and mounted 2 radiators on front and back struts for extra coolant to the engine for the anticipated lengthy duration flights. When testing of Flyer 3 resumed in September, improvement was obvious. The pitch instability that had hampered Flyers I and II was brought under control. Crashes, some of which had been severe, no longer occurred. Flights with the redesigned aircraft started lasting over 20 minutes. The Flyer 3 became practical and dependable, flying reliably for significant durations, and bringing its pilot back to the starting point safely, and landing without damage. On the 5th of October, 1905, Wilbur made a circling flight of 24.2 miles, 38.9 kilometers, in 39 minutes and 23 seconds, over Huffman Prairie, longer than the total duration of all the flights of 1903 and 1904. On the 19th of October, 1905, the brothers wrote in a third letter to the U.S. War Department, "We propose to sell the results of experiments finished at our own expense." Flying at Kill Devil Hills, edit. To keep their knowledge from falling into competitors' hands, the Wrights stopped flying, and disassembled the airplane on the 5th of November, 1905. They returned to Kitty Hawk in May 1908 to flight test their modified 1905 Flyer, which they equipped with upright hand controls and seats for the pilot and passenger. They were required by the Signal Corps to produce an airplane capable of carrying 2 men and sufficient fuel supplies for a flight of 125 miles, with a speed of at least 40 miles an hour. They started flying on the 6th of May, were first witnessed flying by correspondence on the 11th of May, and flew their first passenger on the 14th of May. On the 14th of May, 1908, Wilbur flew mechanic Charles Furness, 1880-1941, 1,968 feet, 600 meters, in 29 seconds, making him the first airplane passenger. The same day, Orville also flew with Furness, this time 2,125 feet, 648 meters, in 4 minutes 2 seconds. Orville's flight with Furness was seen by newspaper reporters hiding among the sand dunes. They mistakenly thought Wilbur and Orville were flying together. He is one of the few people to fly with both Wright brothers, their sister Catherine being another. Later that day, Wilbur was flying solo when he moved one of the new control levers the wrong way and crashed into the sand, suffering bruises. The flyer's front elevator was wrecked, and the practice flights ended. Due to deadlines for their upcoming public demonstration flights in France and Virginia, the Wrights did not repair the airplane, and it never flew again. Survivors, edit. This section does not cite any sources. Please help improve this section by adding citations to reliable sources. Unsourced material may be challenged and removed. November 2020, learn how and when to remove this message. The Wright Flyer 3 was left in its damaged condition in the North Carolina hangar. In 1911, the Berkshire Museum of Peaksfield, Massachusetts, through one Zenas crane, obtained most of the components from both the abandoned Flyer and the 1911 Wright glider, but never assembled or exhibited them. The parts of the 1905 aircraft remained in Massachusetts for almost 40 years, until Orville requested their return in 1946 for the Flyer's restoration as a central exhibit at Edward A. Deeds Carillon Park in Dayton, Ohio. Some Kitty Hawk residents also possessed pieces of the 1905 airplane. Deeds and Orville also obtained many of these for the restoration. At the end of the 1947-1950 restoration process, craftsmen estimated that the 1905 aircraft retained between 60 and 85% of its original material. The 1905 airplane is now displayed in the Wright Brothers Aviation Center at Carillon Historical Park. The aircraft and display are part of the Dayton Aviation Heritage National Historical Park. The restored 1905 Wright Flyer 3 is the only fixed-wing aircraft to be designated a National Historic Landmark. Found artifact, edit. A historic missing piece of the Flyer 3, thought to be a piece of the original Wright Flyer, turned up in 2010 in the hands of Palmer Wood, whose uncle, Thomas, had given him the piece in the 1960s. Wood took the piece to Brian Coughlin, an aircraft collector, who, not knowing what the piece was, took it to Peter Jacob of the Smithsonian Institution. The missing piece is the actuator, which connects the moment chain or arm, the Wrights still used chain link in 1905, to the front elevator. In the 1940s, Orville gathered all of the stray pieces of the Flyer that were not in Massachusetts from Kitty Hawk locals who, as children, raided the Wrights' 1908 hangar for souvenirs. The actuator piece, which more than likely broke away in Wilbur's sand dune crash of the 14th of May, 1908, somehow missed Orville's gathering efforts, and was replaced with a solid or flanged piece, which the Wrights did not start using until 1908. According to Peter Jacob, the flanged piece is not accurate to the 1905 configuration of the Flyer 3. The Wrights in 1905 used a wood assembly joined together by small flat plates and screws. The solid flat piece now on the Flyer was substituted in the 1947-1950 restoration for the missing actuator. Specifications, Flyer 3, edit. Data from Sharp, 2000. P311. General characteristics. 1 crew, 1 pilot. 2 length, 28 feet 0 in, 8.54 m. 3 wingspan, 40 feet 4 in, 12.29 m. 4 height, 8 feet 0 in, 2.44 m. 5 wing area, 503 square feet, 46.8 m. 6 gross weight, 710 pound, 323 kilograms. 7 max takeoff weight, 710 pound, 323 kilograms. 8 power plant, 1 Wright's water-cooled, 4-cylinder, inline engine, 20 HP, 15 kilowatts. 9 propellers, Wright's elliptical propellers later changed to Wright's bent-end propellers 2 per engine. Performance. 1 maximum speed, 35 miles per hour, 56 kilometers per hour, 30 kn. 2 range, 25 mi, 40 kilometers, 22 mi, as of October 1905. 3 service ceiling, 50 to 100 feet, 15 to 30 m, as of October 1905. 4 wing loading, 1.4 pound /square feet, 7.0 kilogram /m. 5 power /mass, 0.03 HP /pound, 0.05 kilowatt /kilogram. See also, edit. 1 early flying machines. Related development. 1902 glider. Wright Flyer. Wright Flyer 2. Wright Model O. Wright Model B. References, edit.